Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. I'm Mike. Along with me is my brother Ron. Ron. This is season 2, episode 37. We just keep piling on and adding more and more episodes. And this episode is about parades. By the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're still adding subscribers slowly but surely, Ron, and we're happy about that.
Yeah, we've got a couple more.
And just everybody's quit watching the podcast or whatever it is. but a lot of folks are watching our little shorts, so we'll produce some shorts out of this.
That's okay.
Yeah. And
if you're watching the whole thing, cool. If not, hey, that's cool. You can catch the highlights.
Well, I've got to say, I remember parades from when I was a kid and growing up. And to me, Ron, the thing that's amazing about parades is they haven't gone away. So much stuff that isn't related to television or the internet has gone away or been lessened or changed dramatically. And real parades have not gone away. Now, the parades themselves and the way they're presented on television has changed to the point that, from what I understand, the networks were overwhelmed with negative reaction.
Oh, they're unwatchable. It's it's not a parade anymore. It's a Broadway review. It's crap.
Who cares? If you like Broadway, awesome. But I don't turn on the TV to watch a parade to see Broadway shows that obviously are not in the parade. They're on some side street in front of the Macy's building. By the way, I used to work for Macy's. I worked for Macy's for 5 years, and that was a load of crap too. The Macy's parade, behind the scenes, this is inside sports on the Macy's parade. They ask employees to be in the parade to mainly, there are a lot of jobs, but one of the things to do is they assign you to hold ropes on these different balloons. There used to be Underdog back in the day, and now Bluey balloons and other more modern characters. And I tried to sign up for it. You have to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go to New York. We were in Danbury, Connecticut at the time, to go to New York, travel to New York on some buses to get your instructions and hang on to the rope and get to march in the parade, though. Super cool. And I thought, wow, that'll be a great thing to do, to march in the Macy's parade and help hold a balloon. And I want to do that. And so I go down to the office at Macy's where I work part-time. By the way, it was a great part-time job. It was a commission job. And man, sometimes you can make some serious money during Christmas on commission work.
I'm sure.
But I go down and I was too late. All the 20-year-olds had rushed down to sign up. And then, of course, I find out later, the day after the parade, 90% of them didn't even show because they weren't disciplined enough to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get on the buses. So the bus was half empty.
Absolutely shocking.
Well, isn't that? And the thing was, people that signed up had been working there for three and 4 days, had been hired just for the Christmas vacation. I'd been working there when I decided to finally do this about 3 years, and I was like, what company? Of course, they went bankrupt and they're barely hanging on now. Macy's.
And they were probably drunk when they signed up,
Oh, but why wouldn't they do it by seniority? There were a lot of older people and at the time older, I was like 40.
Or just do it like a random lottery thing.
Yeah, a lottery or something. But no, just whoever is the biggest airhead run down there and then don't show up on the morning of and I guess they do that every year. They probably know they're only going to get about a 10% participation rate, and they just let whoever sign up and don't worry about it. And it was ridiculous. But I hated the presentation of the parade, and this year was the first year that which was on Thanksgiving. It's on Thanksgiving. It was the first year I'd heard about any of these networks getting blowback about how they were presenting the parade, and finally they got a ton of blowback.
It's been terrible for a while. It's about time somebody complained.
Have you? You know what we have taken to do? We hated it so much for so long that we've taken to going on YouTube, and there's quite a few different places that live stream the parade.
Yeah.
And
That's better. Yeah.
Oh, it's way better. It's great. It's very entertaining without the commentators, without all that drivel coming out of their drivelly mouths. You can actually watch the parade and hear what people are saying to the crowd. There's just a camera there, and you watch it and you see all the balloons, and it's like watching the parade, but you're not freezing to death. But we went to a Christmas parade last night here in my small hometown, and it was absolutely great. It was a big crowd. A lot of good floats. Just the only thing I could complain about is a competing radio. So, a radio station that I've never worked for ran a van down the middle of the street, and they weren't playing any music. You're a radio station. You're supposed to have some speakers and blast some music out while your van is going on and you're waving to people, but they didn't do that. They did throw some candy, though, so I will give them
we
that.
usually go to one of the parades around. There's one in McKinney, Texas. That's they have a lot of. I like it because a lot of people bring. They have a lot of old classic cars and stuff.
Yeah.
In there because it's an old time square, and they have a bunch of old timey shops and things there. It's a really cool place to hang out. Pretty much any time, but it's really good for the parade too, because it's always really decorated nice, and
Why do people like parades? I mean, I like them, but I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a bunch of people watching other people.
It's the same reason they like lights, and it's kind of in that mood. I don't know.
I suppose.
A lot of places around here neighborhoods have light shows, and they do their own little pirate radio broadcast, and you can listen to
I love that.
music that goes with the lights and stuff. Pretty funny. But now remember when I lived in Pearl, Mississippi, we had parade there during the day, which was kind of weird, but it was kind of cool because that gave a chance for more kids to participate, because it wouldn't be so sleepy,
Right, that's true.
And they had almost all the schools had some kind of float, and there was a lot more horses and things like that, and they threw a lot more candy because it was easier to see, in the daytime, and even and I remember in the days leading up to the parade, you would hear, because we lived fairly close to where the parade was at the time, and you would hear like jingle bells down the street, and Santa Claus would be going through the neighborhood throwing candy at kids if you were happened to be outside or whatever.
Get some candy.
And he'd go around and had the little rolling sleigh, and they would pull him around town, and he would just randomly throw candy at kids that were out playing in their front yards and stuff.
Hey, you know what the best thing about the best thing about our parade was here in North Mississippi was Lane Kiffin wasn't in it. We didn't have to watch him or think about him, smell him, anything like that. They should have had his dog. You heard that his dog.
It's
Juice
not really his dog.
Wasn't really his dog. Is that ridiculous? Have things gone so showbiz now in football that the coaches are actually actors with props and dogs that don't belong to them?
What did that dog do? Did it go fetch the tee? Is that what it did?
The tee, for at least for kickoffs, and he would run. He did a great job of it, and I like the dog, and I'm glad he's still here. Glad Lane's gone, and glad the dog's here. If I had my choice, and most people in this town,
the first place I ever saw that did that, and they did that for about 10 years. The Saints used to do that. They used to have a dog that was back in
they have a Saint Bernard?
The 90s. They called him Fetch Monster. Fetch Monster was his name. He would run out there, and they would show him on TV. Of course, John Madden loved Fetch Monster.
Oh, sure.
Look at Fetch Monster. He goes out here and he cuts this way. He would draw
diagram it. Yeah. People love parades.
Fetch Monster route.
They love parades and dogs.
That was great. I was even there live and saw him a few times. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
We love dogs and parades. That's pretty good.
I can remember growing up, the Jackson State Band would be in some of the local parades and a couple of the parades that I went to, and Oh my goodness, and they're still great. And
I
those,
went to the Jackson Parade just to see them. That
oh
was the only
yeah.
reason I went.
Listen, the first time I ever heard a cowbell being used by a parade by a band was the Jackson State Band. They were doing everything they do. I mean, you've never seen so much movement. If you've never seen the Jackson State Band, you just there's no way to describe it. But
Oh, they're unreal.
awesome, just by saying awesome. But they're doing all
The
this
Sonic
crazy high
Boom of the
stepping.
South.
Oh yeah, the Sonic Boom Band, and
Yeah.
they're doing all this
Yeah.
high stepping and moving around and everything in unison, and then right in the middle of it, bang 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 bang, and that cowbell starts getting hit with a drumstick, and everybody lost their minds, including me and including most of the band, and it was unbelievable. And then after that, people kind of overdid cowbells as far as in music, and the famous Saturday Night Live more cowbell, but
Yeah.
they had just the right amount of
I
cowbell.
actually knew a few people that were in the Sonic Boom when they were in college, and
Mm,
man, they had a real pride about that band, man. I
sure
mean,
they did.
anything about that band came up, they were like, they would talk about it like they were, one of the Beatles or something,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
because they went
oh yeah,
everywhere.
and
Oh,
and
they
that's
had a real sense of pride about it. The two people that I remember working with that were in the Sonic Boom, they were like, yeah, it was a big deal.
well, I think another thing that hasn't gone away, and it's one of the weirdest things that exist are marching bands. I mean, hey, let's get a band, let's get
Yeah.
together, and everybody stand around and play. I mean, I think there ought to be a marching rock and roll band somewhere. I'm surprised nobody's done it. And why not? You got a marching band that's got trombones and drums and cowbells and flags and everybody walking in, and people
I
love
can
it.
only
Well,
think of one time a
a
marching band was
marching
even
band.
used
What?
in rock and roll. The song Tusk by Fleetwood Mac features the USC band.
There you go.
You
Is that
remember
the
that song,
crazy one?
Tusk?
Yeah, I do. It is the
I don't know
USC
if they're
band.
crazy, but yeah, they were.
Which one's the crazy band? Is that Stanford that has a band that doesn't have a director?
Uh, yes, Stanford's the one that Cal ran over in that famous play, the play, as it's
Yeah.
called, when Cal returned that kickoff and ran over half the
Oh, that's
Stanford
right. That's
band
right.
on the
Yeah,
other
that
end
was the
zone.
Stanford band. Yeah. They don't have a band. They just kind of
Yeah.
I don't know how they organize it. They really don't. And that's part of the charm. But I would like to see the
Yeah.
Stanford. I bet people in California say, "Yeah, man, when you haven't seen anything till you've seen the Stanford band come walking down out of step, singing a blood, sweat, and tears song while they're playing a Beatles number in the background, but they're singing blood, sweat, and tears." There's no telling what's going on, but I bet it's fun, and I bet it's fun to watch. What about? I mean, the thing that I love about Christmas parades is no matter where you live, it seems to always manage to turn off icy cold on the night of the local Christmas parade. It did
Seems to,
32
yeah.
degrees here. I don't care. The weather was 70 like 3 or 4 days before, and then it turned off and it was 32 degrees. Everybody's feet were freezing off, and
Yeah.
I was bundled to the top. I had knit caps and 3 or 4 things around my neck and gloves and double socks, and had on my old boots, and everything was just great, and I enjoyed it. But that's the way to go. What's
I
your
have
memory
good
of
cold clothes, that's for sure.
have you ever been in a parade? Have you ever been in a parade?
Funny you should ask. Uh, a couple of friends of mine and me were, let's just say, we were liquidly motivated while we were at the Mississippi State Homecoming Parade, and and we were sitting in a T-top Trans Am. It sounds like Smokey and the Bandit or something. Kind of looked like that car. But anyway, we were sitting there, and the guy driving just goes like, "Man, y'all want to be in the parade?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Hang on."
Oh
And
man.
we waited for it. We were sitting at a traffic light, and the parade was like coming like this way. Well, like this way and turning. And we were sitting at a traffic light here, and there was a
Yeah.
nice gap there in between floats. And we went across the grass and went right into it, and got in the parade. And a buddy of mine and me were sitting up in the T-tops ringing our cowbells,
Yeah.
and he had a really good stereo on the car, and he turned on "Come On Feel the Noise" by Quiet Riot. And it was really loud. It was like overpowering the music they were playing on things, and it was really funny. The girls on the float in front of us started dancing to "Come On Feel the Noise," and everybody was laughing and hollering and ringing cowbells. And we went the whole route, last half of the route
Why
in the
not?
parade, man. And
Why
then, of
not?
course,
I think it'd
we
be pretty easy.
skittered out of it at the end.
Kind of like a parade
And
crasher
didn't get
rather than wedding
arrested, so it was
crasher.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
we
think
were
you
a
could
parade
get arrested
crasher,
for
yeah.
crashing a parade. I don't think so. It's not trespassing. You're on a public road like everybody else. I think everybody should do it at least once. You mentioned
Well,
a
I'm pretty
T-top. I
sure we
think
could
that's
have
interesting.
gotten arrested for something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um,
Yeah.
I was kind of intrigued by the T-top. In case I don't think there's anybody listening who's older who doesn't know what a T-top, but it was the closest thing to a convertible without being a convertible. Basically, just two huge
Yeah.
chunks removed from the roof, and I guess put in the trunk
Yeah.
of the car, and it basically turned it into a convertible,
Yeah.
except a little more solid
Yeah.
than than a typical convertible. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about parades a little bit today, Ron, because um, they're just so weird. Marching bands are weird.
Just the time of year it
Parades are
is.
weird. Yeah. Football's kind of weird. It's during football season, people going out there trying to kill each other and sometimes succeeding occasionally. And um,
And
but
you have
you like
victory
it. You're like,
parades
I
too
like it.
when people win championships.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we like them.
You
We
know,
like them, and I bet we
people
keep
have
having them.
parades and burn cars and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
And the cool
But
thing
I'm
about
glad.
when the Mavericks won the NBA title and they had their parade, I was pretty proud of the fact there was only one arrest at that parade. I was going, man, that's pretty awesome.
Wow. Yes, true. Victory parades. Victory
Yeah,
parades are a big deal. If somebody wins
yeah.
a championship of
And
some
I don't think
kind.
anybody got arrested at the Rangers parade that I recall. They were pretty
Well,
peaceful out here when they do a parade.
I mean, I can
But,
see somebody getting
that didn't
rowdy,
happen everywhere.
but yeah, sure. But still fun to have. I just like them. I like the idea of them. I wish we'd get some comments on either some of the shorts from this or on the long form that shows up on YouTube on Boomer Bongo
Mhm.
Boulevard. And folks in the comments section, rather than just sitting there and not saying anything, comment on it. Talk about a parade you've been in or seen, because and recognize the oddness of it, which is exactly what. As a matter of fact, we ought to have a Boomer
Yeah.
Bongo Boulevard parade sometime. Is what we should do, even if it's just on our street. Something. Anything else you got? We don't have a song of the week
Yeah.
other
That'd
than
just be me walking out to my truck, I think.
that'd be a good parade. Ethel Merman, I love a parade. That's our song of the week. I love a parade.
Right.
And why not? Got anything else? Or is that it for parades on Boomer Bongo Boulevard?
Oh, Ethel.
Okay.
Well, I got to share my shirt before I go. This is my Ben Franklin shirt. I've had it for years, but I love it. It's good words to live by. You can read it.
Read it out. I can't see all of it because my picture's on there.
It says beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
There you go. Benjamin
And that
Franklin.
is very true. And that is an
Aphorism
actual
from
Ben
Benjamin
Franklin quote.
Yeah. Good. I was like,
Right.
hey, almost everything out there is an actual
Those
Ben
founding
Franklin quote.
fathers, they loved their beer, man. They loved their booze. All right.
Good night, Gracie.
I'm done. All right.